Let's cross to Washington. Elizabeth Braw is Senior Fellow at the American Enterprise Institute think tank. Thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thank you.
This report, what more do we know about what was leaked and how accurate it was?
Well, we know that documents were leaked and that at least one of them is top secret because it has the top secret classification on it. And what is so mysterious about these leaks is that the documents, and they are, as you said, on social media, Twitter and Telegram, available for all to see at the moment. What's so mysterious is about them is that they seem to be genuine, but at the same time, they parts of them have been doctored. So we don't really know how they were leaked, from which institution they were leaked, from which side they were leaked. It's clearly they relate to the Ukrainian war and American assessments, but were they leaked by somebody in Ukraine? Were they leaked by somebody at the Pentagon? That we all don't know. And on top of that, some of the content appears to have been doctored just to cause further confusion.
Just to cause further confusion. So in whose interest would it be to cause further confusion?
Well, the Ukrainians are saying that this is a Russian intelligence operation created to sow division and discord within the Western alliance, because the documents do discuss Western support, the extent of Western support, money and so forth, how much money has been allocated and will be allocated for various military donations. But we don't know any of that, and what is so we don't know whether it is Russia or whether it's some lone wolf who takes objection to Western military aid to Ukraine, or what the case is. And what is so challenging as well is that in this war we do have a lot of independent outfits operating in support of one side or the other, and that's exactly the same challenge we've had with the Nord Stream incident. We don't know, was it a government that was behind it? Was it a sort of a freelance operation by a group affiliated or supporting a particular side? That we don't know. We just know that this is creating enormous confusion as to who as to the extent of Western support for Ukraine, and who in whose interest it was to put this out there.
So, Elizabeth Braw, when you wake up in the morning and you've had your coffee, how do you sort the wheat from the chaff in this information war?
That is a challenge. Before I've had coffee and after I've had coffee, and in fact, no amount of coffee will solve this dilemma. We have so much inaccurate information entering the bloodstream of the media environment in which we live. And the really challenging part of that is that even though there are fantastic disinformation reporters who scour the internet, social media all day to correct falsehoods, even if they arrive the minute after that information has entered the bloodstream, it's too late. Disinformation spreads very quickly, often because it's so juicy that people get so excited that they share it before thinking about maybe trying to verify it. And even if they do try to think about verifying it, they don't have the skills. And that is really the challenge. Most of us are not information literate, but we are here in the information economy and spread information all the time as a result. Inaccurate or partly accurate or mostly inaccurate information continues to spread. And these documents are another example of that.
The New York Times piece says that the documents were, some 5 weeks ago. So they were perhaps, in part at least, a snapshot of what U.S.-Ukraine relations were like then on the battlefield. What have you gleaned? What have you learned personally?
Well, I think it's nothing surprising, really. It shows Western commitment to Ukraine, and it would have been much worse for Ukraine if these documents had contained U.S. doubts about Ukrainian military capabilities or Ukrainian military abilities to productively use the weapons the West is donating. There's nothing scandalous in these documents, but what it does show is that it's in somebody's interest to try to discredit this close cooperation between Western governments and Ukraine. And I think what should worry and what does worry every Ministry of Defense and indeed every Western government at the moment is there somebody there who could be either motivated or maybe convinced by somebody else to leak similar documents, maybe just as a favor to somebody. This is sort of classic intelligence. But in the past, if you leaked a document to somebody, that document stayed with that person, and they may give it to their government. Now it might immediately enter the massive circulation that exists on social media.
But we knew that more than a decade ago with WikiLeaks, that it's very easy in the digital age to send it all out to on the internet. When you look at, for instance, those satellite images the Washington Post reported on from the Russians digging in Crimea, different analysts are drawing different conclusions.
That's right, and this is another challenge. I think the fundamental challenge we have is that we live in an information era where there is an enormous amounts of information, and a lot of it is accurate, and we just need people who are skilled in interpreting that information to make sure that that the interpretation is accurate, or otherwise we will have a total chaos in the information interpretation. And that's what we are seeing with these documents too. Lots of analysts are trying to interpret US thinking, Ukrainian thinking based on these documents, but it's not clear to anybody except the people with the highest security clearance who have seen the originals of these documents. It's not clear to anybody else how much is accurate and how much is not. But yet now they are out in the public domain, available for everybody to interpret. But as you say, this problem goes back a decade, and it's a great shame that we still don't have information literacy courses for every citizen. I think just as you need a certification to drive a car, you should need certification to share information on social media.
In the build-up to what we anticipate could be a spring offensive or counteroffensive on the part of the Ukrainians in the coming days or weeks, a top aide to the president, Volodymyr Zelensky, claiming Thursday that there's only 5 people who know the plan. People are still able, and we've seen it throughout this war, to keep secrets.
They are, and it really is incredible that the Ukrainians, for example, managed to keep secret the exact location of where President Zelensky is going to be at any given time, because he's obviously a massive target, and indeed they have managed to keep secret their military plans until now. So credit to them. And this is, of course, one of the areas where Russia fundamentally miscalculated the adversary. Russia thought Ukraine is a pretty hapless country in terms of military strength and military coordination, military professionalism, and boy, were the Russians mistaken. But yes, the Ukrainians have managed to keep a very tight control over the information, which is why this leak is so disturbing. And again, we don't know where the leak came from, but and indeed what the motivation of the leaker is.
Elizabeth Brawl, Senior Fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, thank you for speaking with us from Washington.